Right, StarCraft people. Here we are in Frost, and it's Darkwisp versus Kupermeister as our Zerg in the bottom right, and Darkwisp as the Protoss in the bottom left. And of course, this being Frost, big old map, 4-player map, a 2v2 map, you know what I mean? These players do not know, where their opponent is. So Coop is scouting directly left, so it's, you know, it's a feral distance before the Overlord is going to catch wind of this. So he's also sent this drone up toward the top, which is going to verify that Darkwisp is not in this top right corner straight away. Darkwisp's worker is coming out. Which way is he going to go? Is he going to go right? It looks like he is going to get lucky. It looks like this worker is going to come across to the right and is going to find the Zerg base first. So Darkwisp gets an early advantage in as much as he's going to know where his opponent is before Coop does. Of course, from Kupermeister's point of view, if you see the worker come in and you know that your opponent isn't up top here, you can be, given how early it is, you can be reasonably confident that they're in the bottom left, but it doesn't change the scouting path of this drone. It's just going to wait for confirmation for that. Neither of these players is doing anything sort of particularly funky, so it doesn't look like there's any sort of rush build happening anyway. The pull has come down after the hatchery, which presumably has been confirmed by Darkwisp. No, didn't actually see the pull come down, so it didn't go the whole way into the main, and I'm not sure why not. So he's just confirmed where his opponent is. I wouldn't mind seeing a proxied Stargate here or something, you know, because when you see this Overlord come in, you know that you can get away with it because the Overlord's already going to have come past this region. So that would please me, but doesn't look like we're going to see anything like that. So only 2 workers in gas at present for Darkwisp, but he is rallying the third one in there now. But I have a feeling there was 2 in there for a while. Let's have a look. 2110 remaining. So only 40 gas mined. It's not much. I have a feeling for a while there was only 2 in there. So with that said, he does not have enough gas to start Warp Kit and a Stalker at the same time, so that is what we're going to see, and that's kind of okay. Over on the other side of the map, Coop has started speed, and why wouldn't you? He's going to get a couple of lings out. Early fast lings can be pretty brutal against Protoss. One of the things you can sort of do is you can force the Protoss to make adepts or slow zealots to have to deal with those, because Stalkers aren't efficient against lings. You don't really want to be trying to fight lings with Stalkers. If the lings have got speed, Stalkers just don't trade particularly well. So these lings are going to come across before there's anything out. The Stalker is now out, but there's no sentry here for force fields, and if this Stalker gets surrounded, it can actually die pretty quickly to the lings. So it's going to fire off a few pop shots at this, and the Overlord's going to run, which means he does see the lings, but he's got to be careful with this Stalker. Oh, that is not where you want the Stalker to fight. You wanted to get that Stalker in between here and here, and now that he's dithered a bit, the Stalker goes down almost for free. Only 1 ling damaged with no lings killed. You know, to lose a Stalker with no lings killed, that is fairly painful. The Stalker should at least kill, you know, 3 or 4 of those lings before it dies, but as it's turned out, it's killed none, and he's now completed a wall up. There's no other unit in production. I mean, pull the boys, come down here and fix this. Has he got enough energy? He's got loads of energy for a chrono boost. I'm not seeing the chrono boost, so you know, surely you boost out your next Stalker. Get these workers attacking. You've got a shield battery for them to run to. What you definitely don't want to do is let this die. What is going on here with Darkwisp? What is happening? What am I seeing? This is going to die. This is going down. So literally for free, Kupermeister has got a Stalker and now a Nexus kill. This is about as bad a start for Darkwisp as you can imagine getting. Coop now has made follow-up lings, and he's going to come up here, and there isn't. Oh god, there's a gap. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Now the shield battery's going to help, but you're still going to need to pull the boys. The two stalkers aren't going to fight this on their own, are they? Not with a full surround. This shield battery actually does have a lot of energy, though. It's been up for a long time with the, certainly with 3 extra stalkers. He is going to stand firm. I don't know, maybe the 2 stalkers would have held on their own, would they? Didn't seem like a lot of lings. So a strong argument there that Cooper would have been better running just over here where there's no shield battery and having a field day in with the in the mineral line. But you know, Darkwisp, like that is horrible. That is an absolutely atrocious start. So look, Darkwisp is currently just way behind by every measure. He's not crazy far behind in workers. Where these guys are going is anyone's guess. Like, what? Just build a Nexus already. You've got the money for it. What? I don't know. There aren't even workers being produced, so I don't know how you're going to catch up economically. Coop is not building his 3rd. I mean, if you're Cooper right now, given the damage that you've done, I don't know. There's 2 ways you could go, really. You could kind of assume that your opponent is going to be trying to get back on their feet economically, but what you've got to be careful of is the counter push, because sometimes in Darkwisp's position you think, like, I'm so far behind, the only thing I can do is attack and hope to catch them unawares. So, and that isn't really what's happening here, because there are things building like cannons at home. I don't see the point in this. You know, why not just build it here? Now that you've got a handful of stalkers to defend, you build it here with a shield battery, and these stalkers will win all day long. You know, a couple of shield batteries to defend. Up here, I mean, I don't know, man. On a map like this, when you're Zerg, since lings are virtually free, you know, why wouldn't you have just a ling on a patrol command just going around all of these top mineral patches just to look out for a ninja like this, because it's such a big map. It is the sort of map that people would try and get away with a ninja, but normally when you've already got a 2nd, right? Not as a 2nd. You know, the whole point of ninjas is it's an extra base. It's not a base that you should have anyway. Here we are at 7 minutes 30. This isn't really a ninja. This is just your 2nd, and it's all the way over here, which is just minging. And plus he hasn't been building workers this whole time, so it's not like he can insta-saturate this. If this Nexus had been busy the whole time, it would already be oversaturated by like 10-12 workers, and all he's got to do is move them over here and use the energy on this Nexus to recall them, and he can instantly saturate that, but that's not what's happened. So I don't really know what Darkwisp is attempting here. I mean, yeah, there's a Dark Shrine, but you know, there's 2 overseers here. It's hard to see how the Dark Shrine is going to get anything other than a handful of kills. That'll be a slight annoyance. 3 gases mining so far, choosing to drop another 2 here. With this one still it's kind of available in the min, it's kind of unusual to see, but 5 gases available off 3 bases. You can build a lot of Roach Hydra off that kind of income. This getting towards saturated. No drones in production at present, is switching to building those Hydras. And look, 1-1 is not too far away. So Darkwisp, what? Just relying on the idea that you're not going to get busted. Okay, there's a worker recall finally. Yeah, but only because this ended up oversaturated because it's mining out. You know, so economically, Darkwisp is roughly nowhere. Like, his opponent's got twice the income, despite this, like, ninja, if you like. I don't like it at all. Darkwisp really needs to do something to make something happen to stop the Zerg just growing all over this map. Here comes the 4th, and you know, this, what is that going to do? Not much is the short answer. you know, Kupermeister's army is twice the size, but he hasn't really gone and put any hurt on. And if he's not careful, if I'm Darkwisp, you know, honestly, rather than the DTs, I think I would be thinking about air units or something like that. Maybe trying to get in with some articles and put some hurt on like that. But, you know, more than that, just be building things that will negate a lot of these units. Because if you've got like maybe 6 or 8 void rays, well then these roaches and lings are meaningless, because the only thing that can fight them is hydras. And even though this army's twice the size, you can technically beat it. And if you've got those void rays plus maybe like 2 full energy sentries, you know, handful of force fields, and this army dies to in a completely imbalanced way to a much smaller force. So I'd be looking to leverage that type of imbalance, because it's really, when you're this far behind, it's your only way back. The alternative is disruptors, you know, because disruptors just always, all day long with disruptors, because no matter what army composition you've got on the ground, a couple of good disruptor balls in the mix, a couple of whatever they're called, purification thing, I can't remember, a couple of good disruptor shots in the mix literally just flatten it, you know, because everything in the splash range in this army anyway dies to a single disruptor shot. So that would be the other option here. A combination of force fields and disruptors can actually deal with this pretty handily. Micro intensive, yes, but it could get you back into a game that you are otherwise just miles behind in. I am slightly curious as to what is stopping Coop from just pulling the trigger and saying, do you know what, I killed my opponent's natural, they've been on one base, they haven't come and counterattacked, so they are necessarily just miles behind me. Why don't I go and flatten them? You know, if we look at the upgrades, 2-2 is about to finish. In production, actually, 2-2 will finish up before a reasonable way, before anything like that. I mean, +2 attack is mostly done for Darkwisp, and +2 armor is on its way. Weirdly, shields being researched as well. You got 3 forges. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, you know, shields I don't think are going to make any difference here. They're not going to be ready. Yeah, DT blink can be good, but no, I mean, this is going to be a problematic fight. You know, with all that said, it's a pretty ugly ramp to try and push up, but once the overseers arrive and he gets vision up here, he's going to flatten everything. You know, the burst damage from the hydras will kind of negate the effectiveness of the shield battery. The roach is tanking at the front. This is just going to be brutality, essentially. At this point, as the Zerg, you know, click the army, leave your overseers following some of the army about to make sure they don't get sniped at the front. Darkwisp as well needs to micro these stalkers back and forth a little bit. Does he have blink? I feel like he must. So, you know, there isn't any blink. I'm not seeing any blink actually being used here, which is a little awkward. You could got a lot more value from these stalkers with a little bit of blink micro. I'd have been inclined, arguably, to use the stalkers to focus on the overseers and just warping a round of DTs, which eventually will clean this up. But, you know, how long will it take Kupermeister really to build 2 new overseers and get them over here? Not that long. So, you know, this game is over. It is just the cleanup now. Obviously, Kupermeister is going to kill this, and the game will continue, and he'll think to himself, oh, well, that's interesting. Why is my opponent still in the game? And at that point, he'll start to look around the place. But when he finds this, he's going to find it completely undefended. You know, one photon cannon is not going to help you against a 150 supply Zerg. Now the Stargates come down, but I mean, if you look up too little too late in the dictionary, you see these 3 per Stargates. But for reasons best known to himself, Kupermeister has come home. Was there like a DT in his mineral line or something? there were, but like, who cares? You've got 2 grand in the bank, Coop. You know, you can essentially just ignore these, or like, even if you don't, you could have sent like 5 roaches rather than your entire army. So it looks like the Stargates will have a chance to finish up, but come on, dude, like, get up in your opponent's face and end this. It's your army advantage is 148 to 1, and I'll tell you what that 1 is. I have a feeling, if we just look in the units tab, yeah, I thought so. It's an observer, doesn't even shoot. So, you know, let's get on this. Ling's fanning out to find the bases is what you want, so that you're not wasting your time mucking about. But really, you know, this army, just move it around the map and get on with your business of teching up, safe in the knowledge that when your army finds your opponent, it will kill it by itself, and you don't even have to think about it, because that very much is the case. And you could be just busy teching up, planting hatcheries, ready to spawn a whole new replacement army in the event that one were needed. So the 1 Void Ray puts up a sterling fight. There's 2 more Void Rays waiting here. Interestingly, the freeze bomb has blocked the ramp, and that is a little bit angry. You know, none of it matters. None of it matters. That game was over when Darkwisp failed to defend his own natural. GG.